Okay, so I am creating my TBR for September, and part of that is Kelsey's Patreon readathon, which is the Carnival readathon. And one of the prompts in order to, pick out a book to read this month involved creating a carnival game. So here's what I have. So these are the three. I'm going to be sitting back like here by right about here is where my chair is going to be. And then I'm going to be opening up and throwing cat treats, and I'm going to try and get it into one of these bowls. And once I open the cat treats, they're all going to go crazy. So we will see if I can even manage this. And to make it extra difficult, I'm going to use my stroke and my weak arm, which has like no strength in it. So then it's like actually like a test of skill. I don't know. I try to be fun here. don't judge me. So this bottom has George R. Martin's Fever Dream. I probably will listen to this one anyways because of the Libby hole that's coming up, but it won't count for this prompt if I don't do it. And then there's a book called Dracula Asylum, and then a Warhammer book, The Damnation of Pythos. So that's what we have here. See, Lewis is already trying to get in here. Lewis, my friend, my bro, my chill out. Okay. So to make it extra difficult, oh god. Okay. Now, cats are here. Cats are paying attention. Okay. Well, apparently they're not paying that much attention, but that's fine. Okay, I'll put the treats there. So this is my weak hand. It's very bad. Can I even do this? Okay, so I'm gonna have to go underhand. I can't even do overhand with these. All right, let's try. Oh, that one failed. No, God. Oh, God, this just gets more and more difficult. Okay, I can't even see them now. Okay. Oh, fuck. It didn't hit there either. No. I used too much power. All right. I can't see because Loomis and Wisteria are blocking. All right. Oh, did that get in? No, I didn't hear the thing. Okay, that did not get in. Oh, my God. Oh my god, this is so hard. Why did I do this? Okay, nope, that one just bounced off again. So I can hit one. Apparently, I really want to read fucking The Damnation of Pythos, which I do, but I also, what else? Oh! Dracula Asylum! Did you see that? Oh my god, instant replay! But not, because I'd have to edit that. But yeah, it hopped off here and then ended up here. So it looks like Dracula Asylum is going to get there, which is great because it also has big top colors for red and white. So, okay, kitties. I know. Did it make noises here? Here's a treat. Here's a treat for you, Asteria. And here's a treat for you. Because you guys didn't get a treat. There you go. And Claude definitely got a treat, so we're good. Woo! Hello and welcome to another episode of It Came From the Page. And today we're doing my Pile O Possibilities for September and October. The greatest time of the year is coming, fall. I am so much looking forward to it that I decided to do both of my TBRs and my Pile of Possibilities in one video because I recently kind of completed and reorganized and blah 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 my reading cart. So there's actually a few events going on in September that I'm interested in. October, I'm not going to be doing anything. I'm either going to be taking the month off or I'm going to pre-record videos. Either way, I'm not going to be hanging out on BookTube. But there's some cool events happening in September. Let's start off with one. You saw it earlier is the Carnival readathon. You saw me play a carnival game for one of my TBRs, and that is for Kelsey from Slime and Slasher's Patreon reading club. So I'm going to be reading some stuff for that, which I'm really excited about. Specifically, there's a bunch of prompts. I'll be completing them, and they'll be shown throughout things that I'm reading for it, but I'm not going to go through every single prompt, because again, it's a Patreon readathon. If you want to know, you either have to go to Kelsey, pay her some money, or watch her video where she goes through it. But there are some Carnival-specific reads that I want to get to, one of which I have not read a long arm this year, and this is Long Arm and the Carnival Killer
So I'm really excited to get to that one. And then there's actually two Friday the 13th Carnival books. There is a one that was released by Black Flame Publishing, which is just like a normal adult, quote unquote. I mean, they're not really for adults, but one of these adult oriented Friday the 13th books. And then there is also a Carnival YA Friday the 13th book that came out in the 90s. So I'm really excited to get to both of those. Both of those will be using slash tracks because those books are really hard to get through otherwise. So there's a cool little audio portion of that. And then there's also what's coming up this month as well is Week of Weird #2. So there's a few books that I'm going to plan on reading for that and that I don't have physically, and I'll get to that right now, which would be, I want to read, for the one that's like an older classic one, I want to read Arthur Machen's The Great God Pan. I've heard that's a really good story. I've been meaning to read that for ages. And for the newer, a book that's like published newer, I'm going to be reading The Secret History of Twin Peaks by Mark Frost. So I'm really excited for both of those. But yeah, that's all the stuff that I don't actually have like physically in front of me that I'm planning on reading. So let's just get into it. Another little reading event that I'm going to be participating in. Only a little bit, but I wanted to do one read at least, because unfortunately I missed out on reading any Westerns for June on the Range, so I kind of felt bad about that. So Michael K. Vaughan is doing Sumerian September, where he's reading a whole bunch of Conan books, and I had one Conan book that I was going to read for Garbagus, but I decided, hey, I'll wait until September and give Conan the props he deserves. And I'm kind of excited for this because I really recently found that I like fantasy, and I don't understand what's happening in my life. So I'm interested to see if this continues the trend of me liking fantasy books. That's a bad trend to get into because I don't have many friends in that genre. So let's just get into it. What am I going to be reading? Since we are coming up into September, the bulk of my books that I'm going to be reading are kind of old and classic and creepy horror-based stuff. I've just kind of really been looking forward to getting into this. A lot of Universal Monster stuff, some normal monster stuff, some ghost stories, creepies and necrolies, and it's everything is coming up Millhouse. So let's get into this. First off is Trucker Ghost Stories. Truckers, yes, so down for that. Then we have Spawn of Hell. This might actually be my favorite book cover of all time, and I keep meaning to read this. This could suck, I don't know. But this is by William Scholl, and it has like this cool wraparound where you can like see some leaves and stuff. So it seems like it's very much in that fall atmosphere, and it's like a creature feature going on. And oh god, the writing is really small in this book. Oh god. Okay, well. I want to read it. It's got a pretty cover. Whatevs. Next up, we have the novelization for Van Helsing. I love this movie. Sue me. I've always meant to read the novelization. Haven't read it yet. These are the two that I'm probably going to be starting the most soon after this, and try to, because these are originally things I was going to get into for Garbagus, but I never did. One is Bone Grinder, which is specifically is one of those things that is like a transition from summer to fall book, so I thought that would be really good to do. And then there's an Animal Attack book that I didn't get to, which is just Crocs, and it says in the tradition of Night of the Crabs. And let me tell you, my friends, Night of the Crabs, now that's some trashy book that I love. Yeah, I know, Garbagus is over, but I'm still reading trash. Sue me. And then another thing that I might read one or two of these. We will see. These are books that were vampire books that are kind of like tie-ins to a role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons, but they have like a specific branch of Dungeons and Dragons where it's like Ravenloft, and then there's like a whole thing called Curse of Strahd. So it's all in that little area of the world, and these are all fantasy horror books. I really like the D&D books that I read for Garbagus, so I'm kind of interested in cracking some of these up. So first off, we got Vampire of the Mist. Now this is by Christy Golden, and Christy Golden wrote the orc book that I really liked, the Thrall book, Lord of the Clans, that I really liked for Garbagus, so I'm really excited to get that. Knight of the Black Rose. That just looks cool. Like I just like the way that guy looks. He looks like a cool dude. And then there's 2 books about Strahd, who is like the big evil lord of the vampires in that area. So there's I Strahd, Memoirs of a Vampire. Hell yeah. And then there's I Strahd, the war against Aslan. Wow. Cool. Awesome stuff there. A short story collection that I want to get to is It Came from the Drive-In. Obviously, it came from the page, so I've got to go to the drive-in. This is a newer one that I found, but I haven't got a chance to read, and I just love the way it looks. This is The Beast of Nightfall Lodge. It has such a cool cover to it with an awesome art design, and I really am interested and pumped for this one. And then we get, as we go down, this is where we're going to get into some of my Universal Monster picks for the season. So we've got things like Frankenstein, The Monster Wakes. This is another short story collection. Dracula Asylum. The Dracula tapes. So Dracula Asylum is actually a Universal Monsters tie-in book. So that is interesting. These were all put out by Dark Horse Press back in the day. A lot of these super hard to find and are dumb expensive. So I'm excited to read the ones that I can find for prices that won't make me poor. We'll see how that goes. Another one in that line that I'm actually really excited to read is The Wolfman Hunter's Moon by Michael Jan Friedman. Now, I quite like Michael Jan Friedman as an author. I've liked quite a few of his books, so I'm really pumped to dive into this. I love that old school Lon Chaney Wolfman. They're such good movies, so I'm really excited to crack into a tie-in book for that. And these are all like early 2000s. It's a really interesting time for the Universal Monsters, so I'm interested to read that. The Bride of Frankenstein novelization. Now this is the 70s one. I've recently learned that the original one is actually available. Like you can actually find it places, so I'm gonna definitely try to track down the reprint of the 33 Bride of Frankenstein, and then maybe read both it and this and do some comparisons. Then we get out of that and we get to The Amulet. I've been meaning to read The Amulet for many years. I swear I'm going to do it one of these times. I do think that this is summary though, so I might not get to that here. Again, I just want to put it there just because. This is one of my favorite Stephen King books, which is the short story collection Night Shift. I haven't read it in many years. I really want to read it just for the sake of celebrating Halloween with some of my favorite horror stories. When Darkness Love Us, a combination of 2 novellas. Again, one that I know has made it onto TBRs before, but never been read. Oh god, this is me. This is what I do. The Keep. I don't know if I'm going to get to this one. It's like really chunky and the writing is really small. But The Keep, it's supposed to be like, I have a whole bunch of these F. Paul Wilson vampy books, so I'm going to get to them. Although The Keep is not necessarily a vampire book. There's like more going on. But this series has a bunch, like the sequels and stuff have a bunch of vampires in it, so we'll see. I watched half of that movie once. It was good. I meant to rewatch the rest of it, but I ran out of time. Ghouls by Edward Lee. Now, I know Edward Lee writes some, like, frickin' hardcore, gross stuff. So I don't know if I'll like this as much, but I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance just because it's like an 80s vampire novel. I believe this is 80s. When is this? Yes, so 1988 vampire novel. I love vampires from the 80s, so gotta give it a chance. Another one that's definitely made the TBR before is Bring on the Night. Bring on the Night. And it has this amazing step back cover where it's like the vampire's like, come in. Oh my goodness. This is not what I thought it was, by the way. I believe Joshua from Coffee Cats and King read this, where I thought this was like there's a serial killer and then there's like a vampire hunter and they're like clashing. But, actually, it might have been Alex. Oh, I think it might have been Alex the Bookubus. My apologies, Alex. But regardless, that I thought this was like there's a serial killer plot and then there's a vampire plot and then they meet up. But apparently it's like the vampire hunter is killing vampires. So they think that he's a serial killer. So it's like that's less exciting than what I thought it was, in which there's like a conventional serial killer versus a serial killer of the undead. But hey, if they haven't made that yet, I guess they can make it someday. So, never give up on your dreams. This I found really recently, and I've been waiting to pick this one up forever. This is a hardcover, yes, it's physical, so it's a hard copy, of T.E.D. Klein's Dark Gods. Now, I've actually read one of the novellas in here, but apparently it's been a little bit rewritten for this re-release too, so I'm excited to do that and read into the other 3 novellas as well. The one I read was Petey from Shadows 2, and Shadows 2 is one of my favorite horror anthologies of all time, so I'm super into it. So yeah, I've heard a lot about this from Michael K. Vaughan, so I'm really excited to get into that. Speaking of Shadows 3, another one that's definitely made it upon TBRs before, but I swear to gosh, I'm gonna read it this term. I need to get my Shadows 3. I need to get at least one Shadows done a year, so I gotta get it in either September or October. I got 2 months to do this. Come on, I got this. I gotta get to this. A Warhammer horror book. So there's actually a few Warhammer books that are horror specific that I want to get into, and this is one of them. Oh my god. No, I don't know why, but I love sprayed edges so much. Like when this just looks so beautiful. I'm like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I love it. Another short story collection, Vamps. I have a type of book, okay? And this is the type. This is the type of book. I love it. I'm so excited for Vamps. Speaking of vampires, Billy Martin. This is Lost Souls. Really excited to get into this. I have been loving the Billy Martin books that I have read. Absolutely adored Drawing Blood this year. So the Lost Souls, I'm just like so excited. He writes such good characters. More vampires. I don't know. I read Twilight this month, and I guess now I'm going full vamp. But we get Under the Fang, which is edited by, oh my god, Kelsey, who is that? Robbie McCammon. Robbie R. McCammon. So, yep. This is just a bunch of horror short stories about vampires. So, if I have one of them, I gotta have 2 of them, LOL, did I say 2 of them? I meant 3 of them. Because there's another one. This one's a Dracula-specific short story collection. What's amazing is that Vamps is also edited by Martin H. Greenberg. He was, editing all of these weird short story collections. Here is The Dracula Caper by Simon Hack. Heck yeah. This one I know is from Coffee Cats and King, because I brought it because he read it. This is The Bargain, when Dracula fights Hitler. And I'm rooting for Dracula. You go, Drac. Some Halloween-specific ones as we enter into the October Halloween season. Halloween Land by Al Sarantonio. That just looks really cool. I love the cover. I love the season. The novelizations for Halloween Ends. I've read the novelizations for Halloween and Halloween Kills. I might as well complete it with Halloween Ends. Next up, I have some horror nonfiction that I want to get to in these 2 months. So we've got Stephen King's Dance Macabre. Another one that I know has made like a TBR before, but it's fine. One that I think is very funny, which is a book that's edited by J.N. Williamson, but this has a whole bunch of horror writers telling me how to write tales of horror, fantasy, and science fiction. Can I follow their rules and make the ultimate horror book? We will see. The Frankenstein Legend by Don F. Glutt. I've read the Dracula one that he wrote, and I've been meaning to read this one forever. I love myself some Frankenstein. I love myself some Draculas, whether it be monsters or fangs, whatevs. And then we get this is another one. This is a pretty big classic nonfiction horror book. This is Splatter Movies by John McCarty, where it kind of goes through a history of horrific slasher and bloody films. And there's a whole bunch of movies in here. This is written in the... Because there was a time when, like, slashers were kind of on the cusp of actually just being called splatter movies instead of slasher movies. And this was written in 1984. So this is 1984 when John McCarty wrote this. I've read some other John McCarty books, so I'm interested to read that one. Okay, so we're nearing the end here. There's a few paperbacks from hellish stuff that I want to get to. Deathbite. Kill Riff. The novel, well, not the novelization. So the original Razorback about an evil giant man pig bear. The Foundling. What if Rosemary's Baby had a baby? Damn, sounds pretty intense. Whitley Strieber's The Wolfen. One of my favorite covers of all time, Graham Masterton's Death Dream. One that I don't really know much about, The Shinglow. Sounds really cool though. Down, down, down. And then, last but certainly not least, we have The Jersey Devil. The giant short story collection, October Dreams. And the Vampire Encyclopedia. Hell yeah! So that's what I'm reading. What are you guys going to be reading? And what are you guys going to get up to in the Halloween season? Thank you, and have a good day. Goodbye.